Well, Grand Rising, everyone, and happy Sunday. I'm so glad that you guys are here hanging out with me once again. If you're new, welcome to the page. This is like, I don't even know what to call this page anymore at this point, or this channel. I just kind of share my journey, and then if I feel like there's some gems that I can deliver to you guys, then I will. And then sometimes it's just about me in general and like my personal journey, because that's where I find my gems. So thanks for joining. I hope you like the company. Today, this is more of like a freestyle video while I'm doing my makeup. I'm just gonna catch you guys up on some things that I've learned basically within a couple of months of the first 3 months of 2023, honestly. And I don't know, maybe what's coming, who knows? Like, this video isn't planned at all. Like, I'm very surprised simply because, like, I'm like the person that plans everything. I script like everything to make sure everything's like in order. Like, I do all that shit because I'm Venus and Virgo. I'm just very critical and I like things prepared. But this year I'm really trying to learn how to be like kind of messy and be okay with it, because I'm a perfectionist at its best and it's kind of scary. So I've been trying to just kind of really expose some of those controlling factors and work with them and be flexible and be patient, going through the journey and stuff. If you guys know some of my previous videos, I talk about that. And so this is a time, I'm sure, for everyone right now, because I'm sure everyone's like going through it, honestly. Like, this Saturn resting in Pisces and then Pluto going to Aquarius in the 23rd, guys, I told you guys like a couple months ago, like, this shit is gonna be crazy because everything is changing for our higher selves, for our greater good and stuff. But it has to get messy first before it gets, back united and back just on a common ground or level, or just where you feel like, okay, I can breathe. Like, right now we're just trying to, like, I don't even know what we're doing right now. We're starting. Let's just say we've been starting since like last year, but we've worked all the way up to now. Like, these planets are very important to us. Pluto is like basically the psyche of the soul. Saturn is very, it's like, it rolls like politics, government, systems. All of our systems are crumbling right now, so we can rebuild new ones. And so it's been a whirlwind for all of us, and I'm so glad I'm not alone. There's been a few people that have been hitting me up recently, just like, telling me a lot of the things that they're going through, I'm actually going through as well, just different scenario. And it's really nice to have people around to connect with. So remember that you have your family and friends to connect with. If you don't have family and friends, you have me to talk to. You can easily DM me. I understand. I really do. And so it's really nice to just have people to connect with. And I've been reconnecting a lot with back to like my family and friends, and coming out of my shell now, and it's been really nice, especially for times like this. So remember that if you feel like you're not comfortable with like the people around you, that you can like find people as well that's going through the same thing on social media too, which is a really cool tool that we have, a really cool utility like that we have as like a species. Like, we have the internet that people can resonate, people can give advice to, like YouTube and Facebook, like just really connecting with those, and just even commenting like, yo, like, I really resonate with that, or I'm going through the same thing. Like, I'm not saying splash out your like information out there on someone's page, but just really understand that you're not alone, like, and that you can like talk to someone, or even putting a comment might spark up a message, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just really never know. And I'm really thankful for social media to have that kind of access. But there are some dark sides. Everything has a contrast to it. That's just life, because we need balance. We need light and dark. Anywho, I be going on rants, y'all, so But okay, so I'm gonna do my makeup. I'm not gonna, so originally I was going to do like a full face set of makeup because I had a photo shoot this weekend and I wanted to practice. It got rescheduled till next week. So I'm just going to do like just some simple makeup and everything because I don't have really anywhere to go. If this was like Saturday, I probably would do a full face because I'm going bowling with I guess a bowling date on Saturday, and so I want to look nice, but I'm sure I won't have much time on Saturday to film, so I'm just going to do it now, and I'm just probably going to go to the grocery store after this. So looking nice for the grocery store. I usually like, this is like purely me, like all day. Like although you guys see like my Instagram and stuff, just because of like the modeling pictures, this is like purely like, this is what I dress like. I literally just usually have like t-shirt on or crop top, like with like sweatpants, you know, and just call it a day. So this is like this is me. This is real, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I'm gonna set this down because it's hurting it's so cool.
3 hours later.
Oh, sorry guys, I dropped you. I'm using my phone, and so I had to get creative with it, and yeah, I just didn't charge my camera batteries. I usually don't use them a lot anymore simply because my phone is so much easier, and the cameras, they always die so easily, but they are kind of older, so that could be why as well. But let's go ahead and get started with my makeup, and let's talk, sis or bro, whoever's listening. We will get tea here and there. What are you drinking? What are you drinking? We can drink together. We can talk together. What's been going on? So how is this like Saturn in Pisces that happened on March 7th? Just so you guys, if you guys want to know if anything happened or led up to March 7th, let me know what happened. And we're still kind of in the chaos. But also, how has you know, Pluto ingressing into Aquarius, that's going to be in 2 weeks. So that's been building up for a really long time. Allow yourself to be the powerful person that you know and create your own reality. How are you going to, what choices are you going to make so you can be happy or succeed, whatever that means to you? What is that for you? And so Pluto has been really shedding off and burning off and dying off like all of this old shit, all of this old crap that you're sick of and you're tired of, and you know, you complain about. It's gone. You know, he's like, okay, like we'll shed these things off, you're ready for the new. So he's all about death and rebirth, and we're rebirthing to our true selves, like our unique and different aspects of us that we don't usually show, because it's going into Aquarius. It's very unique and it's very rebellious. So Pluto is like shedding off everything that's old so you can rebuild the new. And that's happening on the 23rd. So it's been happening for quite some time, simply because it does take a long time for humans to transform, especially with our brains. Change is very scary for us, and we try to do everything in our power to not do that, to not change that. Just more bigger things rather than like the smaller things, like, you know what I'm saying? Like these are huge things because it's switching. It's going to be completely different, and we can't go back to whatever it was, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just been a really chaotic time. And my friend the other day, she's a hiker, and she hiked the Appalachian Trail. I think that's how you say it. And she had a really good ass post. Shout out to Lindley Clay. But basically, she was just talking about how the trail was, sometimes she wanted to go home, and then when she went home, she wanted to go back on the trail, and she realized that she just really had, like, during those tough times, like, or for her next trip, like, just to really embrace like the suck, like it made her realize to just embrace what's going on, because like once you're done with that thing, you're like, oh man, like that was actually great. But her post was really good, and it was just basically talking about embracing the down times, embracing the low times, because when you look back at it, that's what made you the strongest, you know? And so I loved her post. Like, it was like, and that's what I use in my head like all the time, is like, embrace the suck, embrace the suck. Like, this is for my higher good too. Like, you know, because you don't want toxic positivity. Like, that was like literally half or most of all of my childhood and up to this point was just toxic positivity. Like, it was so ingrained that I was so oblivious to the dark, the shadow, you know? It's just like kind of just what we got taught, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad to know that it's okay to admit that it sucks. It's teaching you something, and it's something more difficult, like, you know? And it's like, you still figure it out at the end of the day. You just don't know how, but by embracing it instead of like covering it. I can't give an example of that, but that's just how I feel. I'm trying to find my eyebrow stuff. So I wanted to also talk about some of the things that I learned last year up to now as well. This is kind of a Pluto and Aquarius thing, as well as Saturn moving into Pisces as well, because now that Saturn is out of my Aquarius house, or just the sign in general, I feel like I have freedom. Like, I've freed up an aspect of me, but I also learned a lot about me as well, a lot about my shadow. Again, when it comes to toxic positivity, like, just growing up with that, it's like toxic positivity as like everything will be okay, but it's not okay. We're not acknowledging that it's not okay. We're just putting a band-aid on it, and we're like, oh, it's fine, like, you know. But that wound, it's like, if you just keep if you keep pointing at it, it's just gonna get like more irritated, just, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what I mean by like toxic positivity. It's not only just family, it's also society. It's also the constructs that they put in society. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's also the things that we attract by what we got taught and depending on the environment that we were in. And so when I learned about like my shadow and Saturn moved into Pisces, I felt like I was freed. I felt like it was, I don't even know, like, I could breathe, you know, because Saturn likes to restrict things. It likes to place like boundaries on things. And that's why I'm so glad he's in Pisces, because Pisces is such a limitless being. They have no boundaries. So with Saturn going into Pisces, there's going to be a lot of boundaries, especially with empaths. Empaths are going to like really get on their shit these next like 3 years. They're either going to sink because what the experiences that they're going to have, and they can't fight for themselves, or they're going to thrive off of Saturn going into Pisces. Now it depends on what house it is, but like and hopefully I have like some examples of what houses are, and this is more for myself, so I can do this for you guys. So houses right there. This is the real deal, and this can really help you. I'm excited because I'm eventually going to go to school for astrology. I just want to let you guys know this is all self-taught. Like, I've been just really digging into it since 2020. So, and I love like expressing about it because it also ties into like it ties into everyone's life, but it also like, it helps me explain what's going on in my life and put the puzzle pieces together. And once that puzzle piece is done, okay, move on to the next puzzle piece. I don't have YouTube Premium anymore. I'm like, these fucking commercials. I had it for 3 months. I was so spoiled. Like, I feel like I can't talk and like look for my stuff at the same time. Oh, there it is. I just gotta find the stick. But yeah, I feel like I've been going through like a lot of transformations. Where the heck is the stick? But I feel like I've been going through a lot of transformations, and then Saturn going into Pisces like just really helps like with like the boundaries and everything. I mean, it's still in the same Aquarius house, but it's moving. And if I was doing whole house, then it's technically in a different house. But I'm using Placidus, so anyways. there's a lot of changes, especially just noticing and acknowledging my shadow and some of the darker parts of me, and embracing them and honoring them and nurturing them as much as I could, you know, and I'm still doing that as well. It's not an overnight thing. Like, this has been, I've been working on this since February, seriously. And it has not been an easy process because I don't know this side of me. I really don't, because I've shunned it and I've repressed it for a really long time. And if you guys don't know, like, anything that I'm talking about, please go check out Teal Swan's video called Fragmentation. It is such a great video. So this part of me that I like repressed and suppressed, I was just in the unknown. I did not know what to do. I didn't know how to work it, anything. A part of me, I was so insecure, very immature. And honestly, this has been going on since 2020, but I didn't really acknowledge or realize it until like 2022. And so now I'm like starting to finally catch up and be like, oh, okay, like, you know, just waking up and feeling more free and feeling like I have choices. Like, I felt like I was just really in a dark space, and I didn't know like why or what was going on. And what really helped me was astrology, and like getting to know like the houses and what everything is doing right now, and what part the planet plays into, like, you know, the signs, what role are they playing, you know. So it really helped me. But going through that in 2022, I didn't really get to see anything that was like what I realize now until like, I want to say the end of January, going into February, and now, like, you know, like this stamp like is like here. Like, I'm like, oh, this is what happened, this is why it happened, this is the lesson, you know, because you never really know when you're in the process, you know what I'm saying. But once you like get out of the process, you're like, oh, this is, you know, this is what happened, and this is how to move forward, this is what this is. Like, you get to identify different aspects of you that you didn't know that you had, and you get to decide, okay, do I keep these traits, these habits, these choices, these core beliefs, or do I move on? Like, you get to discern, you know what I'm saying? You get to discern your truth, basically. And I didn't know how to do that because I didn't really know myself or who I actually was. I didn't know like aspects of me that were there. And so working with them last year was so difficult and so confusing. And so, like, I don't know, it was so different. It was so different. There's a lot of sacrifices that had to be made. Like, for instance, I mean, I don't mind telling you guys, but let me look for my eyebrow stick. I had to change angles, so because when I was doing my like makeup this way, it was weird, so I changed it. I hope the lighting is okay. I might can do it right here. But the sacrifices that I made during 2022, I completely like, and at the time I felt this was right for me, and I'm glad that I did it, but at the same time I saw the effect of it, and it was not pretty on my end. I was away from like my family for a really long time, and I didn't think it was going to be that long, but the journey was quite some time, and I was just really like scared to go back because I was like, I don't feel like I can be myself and then also be with my family as well at the time, because I felt like I didn't have enough power to stand my ground or to just be myself and be okay with myself without feeling judged, like, you know. But at the same time, I really missed them, and I love them too, you know what I'm saying? So it gets really complicated. And so when I did finally come back, it was kind of like a relief, you know, like, whew, like my family's still here, you know, because there are so many things that have been going on, you know, and there, you never know, like the world is so like uncertain. Sorry, let me do this. Let me finish this. If you need a break, take a break. But like I ended up taking a break to where like it started to make me suffer because like I didn't really my body wasn't really used to isolating itself or being alone because I'm still working on my codependency issues. You know, just because you're not codependent physically, you can be codependent emotionally, mentally, financially, you know what I'm saying? So I'm still working on those, but like physically and everything, emotionally, mentally, physically, I was isolated. You know, I was on my own, and I loved it, but I also hated it at the same time because it wasn't the old me, but this was a part of me that like some part of me that needed that, you know what I'm saying? And so I honored it, and I'm very grateful that my family somewhat honored it. And now that I'm, you know, just back in everything in everyone's lives and just slowly coming back. I'm not like fully in there. I'm just slowly coming back because I'm still trying to figure out me, to be honest, y'all. Like, and like just having confidence within myself and my decisions and what I want to do and not really care. Like, that is so hard for me. You know how hard it is for Libras to just not be people pleasers anymore? But I've seen it, and I know it's possible. So gratitude is the best attitude. But anyways, I had to sacrifice that. I had to sacrifice relationships to really focus on myself, to really understand myself, to really know myself. I wanted to get healthy. I was so freaking tired of the toxic masculinity, really cleansing all of those old traditional beliefs and just really loving and embracing my aspects and who I truly am and what I'm made out of, not with the social or political beliefs or any beliefs like that or any toxic masculinity. I got to find so many gems of myself, but I also lost a lot of, you know, for the time being, I lost a lot of time with my family. I lost a lot of time with a relationship. I lost a lot of time with friends, like, you know, but I needed that isolation to really understand parts of myself that I've been suppressing for 15 plus years, you know, simply because I pushed that away because I was scared to face that trauma. I was scared to face like just what I've always been avoiding, which is myself. So yeah. And I also sacrificed it. I sacrificed my finances as well. Now that was not very smart because now I'm like, you know, dealing with the effect. You know, that's literally what life is. It's just cause and effect made by your choices, and you're not like, that's why like everything has like some type, like everything like around you is a symbol of you. Like these are just different aspects of God. Like that's what I believe. So yeah, that's what's been going on in my life, and now I'm catching up from the effect that I have caused. Just abandoning everyone for, you know, a couple of months. Like, I know what that feels like. You know, I know exactly what that feels like. And, you know, my roommate told me, like, you know, rejection is just a part of life. And that helped me a lot. Really guilty for just stepping out for myself for a minute. But then I realized, I was like, I had to do that for me. During that process, I also learned about my spiritual ego, and I had to take this is recently though, because this is after I realized what I've been causing and stuff like that. For like just not with other people, but also just like myself, like financially being so worried. So what it is that like with my shadow attributes, they want to do, like my shadow would like to do taboo things. It would love to do more darker underworld things, but where I'm from, it feels like a prison. But it's also because I put myself in like a prison place, because I was supposed to isolate myself, yes, but not for that long. I just got so caught up in that stage, in that state of mind, that it just kind of like perpetuated until I like had to wake up, like, you know. And 2023 is a huge eye opener, huge eye opener. And I feel like this year is a really good year for us to prep for 2024. This is the time to learn our truth, our lessons, not everyone else's and who we're around or societies. This is our personal journeys. And you have to put yourself first for that. Like, you have to. And be flexible with it, like really be flexible with it, because you've already made choices beforehand that you can't really erase. You just have to learn how to integrate them with what's now, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been learning. But like during the process, I didn't really know I had like a spiritual ego until I met my mentor. And she checked me the fuck out. Like, she checked, she's really good at saying, like, things for what they are, and how, like, being this good girl is actually harming you, and you can't even, like, see your own, like, shadows or anything like that. And, that can get really dangerous, because people like that can be really naive and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so she really taught me, like, things for what they were. Like, she really taught me, like, my shadow side and some of the things that I do. Like, sometimes I'm, like, very selfish, or very obsessive or possessive, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those shadow attributes of me, I have, but, like, at the same time, like, I get to learn about them and channel them into, like, my creativity. But the creativity that I want to do, the taboo stuff that I want to do, doesn't feel accepted. Could do that, but I haven't, because I'm literally so scared. I really have to get over, and that's what I'm learning now, to not really care and be fearless, like, all that good stuff. But I have to erase, the good girl mentality, or the good girl mindset, or toxic positivity. That's just not gonna work. I developed a spiritual ego, thinking that I am this really good girl and I know all about spirituality and this awareness, and I'm awake. In reality, I just now opened my eyes. Like, I'm just now getting out of the bed. I have learned a lot of stuff, but I also need to experience that as well. And I didn't really see that. And so here I am on my high horse, like, oh, like and I really can help people for real. But like, oh, I know this information, so I can give you this. But I wasn't even doing that for myself. So I had to like pull back a little bit and really isolate myself. And each time that I did, it felt like, Pluto was just, okay, this is going away, this is going away, this is dying off, this is dying off, this is dying off. Saturn and Aquarius, like, you're restricted within, like, the mind. This is what you are. And it was crazy. It was honestly crazy. But I got to learn about my spiritual ego and how it was harming me, and me thinking that I've changed, which I have. I have changed, because change is inevitable, like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still coming from the same state, same state of mind, and I thought I wasn't, because of everything that I learned, but I never applied that. So it's just all stuck in my head, and I'm just, when people come to me, I'm just expressing that to them, and I'm not actually applying it. And so I realized, like, oh my gosh, this is a spiritual ego. So I had to cut off literally everything, like, spiritually. Like, I still do, like, my yoga, and I pray, and, I meditate and everything, but I cut off, like, following other people. I cut off all the social media, the YouTube, everything that I truly, like, was dependent on. Like, I just cut it off, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm building a spiritual ego. I've been, like, suffering. Like, the only thing that has been making me really happy has just, like, been the things that I've been creating. And so I just kind of was codependent on that until I couldn't be really codependent on that anymore. I saw a lot of, like, my codependency traits come out when I was trying to fight against that at the same time. So I've just been really just learning to be honest with myself, taking it slow, being flexible. You know, I don't know and I don't have all of the answers. As I got out of that isolation and I got to actually observe myself and, you know, saying what I have been saying, I can actually apply it now, you know. 2023 knocked my high horse ass down. And I'm starting from square one. Felt like a breakthrough. Like this huge breakdown felt like a huge breakthrough because I got to actually acknowledge my shadow sides. I actually got to acknowledge, you know, just like the patterns that I do have, and look at them for what they are and not be ashamed of them, or just learning not to be ashamed of them and feel guilty of them. I'm just, you know, learning how to like really embrace it in a healthy way. And embracing it in ways that like I can feel free, like, you know what I'm saying? So just really channeling it into like my creativity. And I've learned like different ways on how to do my creativity instead of just feeling like it's like, oh, I need to post like every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know what I'm saying? Like I've taken a step back I've taken so many steps, like setbacks from things and reevaluating and reprioritizing, because the way I did it last year, it was my first time, honestly, because I never really had I talked to one of my spiritual teachers, Nicole, and I didn't realize how much like in 2021, I said I wanted to like model. I said I wanted to like, you know, do all of this creative stuff. And I actually did do it. And I didn't really realize like, since in my head that the destination was I am going to be a full-time model and creator, and I was just trying to chase that so bad that I didn't realize how much fucking work that I did last year. And just me like sometimes like comparing myself to like other people and stuff. I didn't realize all of this stuff that I've made and I actually achieved that I said I was going to do in 2021. It actually happened. And it wasn't the way that I wanted it to happen, but it fucking happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, like things are really coming true and they just really just take time. And so me just, you know, last year, me just trying to chase that dream and decode everything and decode things from way back when to understand all my patterns and stuff, it helped me. It did help me, but it also overwhelmed me and kept me in a really low state because I needed more information because I knew there was something bigger and I knew I was going to be a full-time model. And I'm like, why isn't this coming? Like all this stuff. But I didn't really realize that you have to trust you have to trust. I got trust issues, y'all. Like, so I didn't realize like how important trust is and how important to like stay consistent and, you know, just really just trust the process and commit to it. I didn't realize that was like such a huge thing because I was like, oh, I'm committed, I'm trusting in it. But my version of that was like blocking everything out, making all of these plans, trying to plan detail after detail after detail, decode everything of like my old patterns and why I do the things that I do and observing everything. Listening to a lot of YouTubers of what's going on, you know, those tarot readers and stuff like that. Like I was doing that. Like I was also trying to work at a job and also do the things that I love at the same time. But that was also super hard for me because of the state that I was in, basically, because of the belief systems that I kept running in my head. It was really challenging for me because it was working against me. And so all that shit happened last year. I was like really depressed because I was in like the stagnant era. Like I was like in this stagnant break, I guess. And I didn't really know what was going on. What was I doing? It was like, why is it slowing down? Like, and I was getting really hard on myself and I just started feeling like really guilty and all this stuff. And then I had to like, you know, really work my way out of that guilt once again. When 2023 came, and I was just like, enough is enough. Like, why the fuck am I beating myself up for nothing? Like, I'm fighting an invisible story, an invisible human. And that was like literally all last year. Like I was just fighting with myself. I was my own worst enemy because I simply made the choices because I didn't really think everything through. I didn't really, I felt my emotions, but I didn't really think logically through. And so I've come to realize that objective viewpoints are so important. And so now I'm learning more about that, and how I can just really be myself and not really care and be smart about it. Work smarter, not harder type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it really, 2022 really helped me to understand my shadow self. And it took a lot of patience, and it took a lot of, trial and error. It really did. And it took a lot of purging as well. But now that I'm in 2023 and I'm looking back, I'm like so proud of myself for what I've done. I also have a lot of disappointment as well. There were a few sacrifices. It's lukewarm now. But yeah, I was going through it. I learned a lot. So it made me realize that I wasn't alone, that I don't have to fight this battle with myself. And a lot of people go through that every single day, fighting with themselves because of someone else's point of view. And it's like, when is it going to end? Like, you know what I'm saying? When am I going to allow myself to just be? Like, that's our birthright. So now I'm learning that and taking like little, like, just baby steps of doing that. Getting back into motion, catching up with everything, stepping with 2 feet in. It's time, and you'll know when it's time. You really do. Everything that you're experiencing is for you. We come down here to experience. God is an experience. Remember when I was talking about the ego and stuff like that? I think it was in October, I want to say October. We had that Aries full moon, and I said how like our ego is going to be like, that was like what? Let's see, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So April from the 6, because 3 months and 6 months are usually marks of change, like huge change. So you can kind of look back and see the differences and stuff if you want, or if you go back. Oh, gosh. Sorry, I keep burping. 3 months, it's like mental change, and I feel like 6 months, it's physical. But I don't know. Honestly, I honestly don't know. If you look back to my video, oh my goodness, I think it's called New Moon Eclipse or something like that. You know what? I'll link it down below. So if you watch that video, that can actually help with right now too. Everything that we do is just kind of repetitive until like we kind of like learn our lessons. Anyways, I'm thinking, oh, I've shed my ego because I purged all of my beliefs and like in the beginning of the year when I first started this, and I'm like, oh, my ego. What is that? I'm telling people about this ego stuff, like, the ego that I have, like, I've worked on it, like, and I can acknowledge that. That was not the case. At all. And I didn't realize, I was like, oh my gosh, I've developed a spiritual ego. Like, I've developed this huge, massive ego about like spirituality and stuff like this. And since I know this information, like, I'm the one that can tell everyone this. I'm the teacher, but I'm really the student and the teacher at the same time, and so are you. And so are kids. They're student and teachers at the same time, because we are one consciousness. But anyways, I was just, it was a huge, rude awakening for me, and I didn't really realize until 2023 came, and I was like, wow, Tiana, like, wow. It was like a wake-up call for me, and I really appreciate it. That's why it's one of the best ones, because I didn't see it coming. I didn't see this one coming, universe. So that's what I'm kind of like dealing with right now, simply because this is, I've, processed it, but I'm still working through it. Like, not perfect, and things are always changing, and we're always trying to do our best. every day. When it's up to us to fucking leave, or it's up to us to get up and work. It's up to us to take responsibility. It's up to us to do what is best, no matter how scary that is. And that's what I'm in right now. And what really helps is listening to myself. It really does. And to really be nice to myself. Like, when I'm mean to myself, it literally, like, the lesson takes so much more than what it has to be. Because we're here. It's literally, Earth is a school. We came on this earth, we're learning our lessons, and then we did. Okay? That's how our souls evolve. So if we're constantly getting that feedback that's outside of us of what our internal is looking like, then we get a chance to write a different story if we want to, if we choose to. And it really all comes down to our choices and like what we do. And sometimes it's not going to be easy, and sometimes it will be easy. But you got to embrace both sides. You really do. And that's what I'm learning right now. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this freestyle video. What's coming? What's coming? Just like really reprioritizing everything. I'm still doing modeling. I'm still doing my princess performances. I've also have like underworld things that I am doing as well, and so I'm just now getting started with those, so still taking some time. And then really just I'm just learning to apply things that I learn, like because I could consume and store so much information, but the application part of it, it's like, what? Because it's really hard for me to try things new because of my perfectionist state. Like, oh, I have to be good at everything, you know what I'm saying? I have to look good, I have to be good. I'm obsessed with that, like, you know. And so now I'm just really trying to learn how to apply into like new things, new classes, and just see, have the experience, and then also reflect after experience. It's actually pretty fun. Like, you know, just learning to be like more open. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then yeah, I'm really trying to learn how to grow like my underworld things. I'm focusing on that a little bit more, and just practicing modeling and princess performing and working. I need to work. That's what's been going on. I don't know if I'll do videos every Sunday. Like, I want to be candid with you guys. This springtime feels like a restart. Like, I'm restarting my life once again. And so it's just going to take me a little bit of time to adjust, and I just want to be flexible with myself, but I also want to create when I can, and also feel free to do so, at least until I can, you know, get things rolling once again and get on a steady schedule. Just for my being right now, it needs to get messy. It needs to learn how to be messy and not be such a perfectionist. So I'm doing the total opposite of what I usually do. So it's just going to take me a while. It's going to be so great if I can do every Sunday, but I'm not going to promise that, you know. I've also been learning about that too, like promising people things that I can't even deliver. Like, you know what I'm saying? That has been on like such a main topic recently for myself. So yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and head out because it's been a while. I know this video is gonna be pretty long. I just wanted to express myself today with you guys, and for anyone that's listening, thank you so much, and I hope that you can resonate with this message. Let's all take a deep breath in together before we leave, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on, you can do it better than that. Okay, so this time let's like sigh it out. You ready? 1, 2, 3. That was lovely. Okay, well, I'll see you guys next week. Possibly, who knows? But either way it goes, I hope that you guys have a great week, and I love you guys so much. Goodbye.